Do we expect to see voting tonight in the Senate? How quick can John Thune get this done?
So he needs consent from all 100 senators to move this along. We're expecting some folks, including Senator Rand Paul, who typically holds these things up, to do just that, which would then essentially put the brakes on. They have to ride out a clock, take another procedural vote, ride out the clock again. So it could be days instead of hours, but this morning Senator Thune was saying he's hoping it's the hours, measured in hours, not in days. So.
Have we heard from the White House on where they stand on this plan? Because while it would include the stopgap measure, reopen the government, as Joe mentioned, to January 30th, it also appears to have this pullback when it comes to the firing of federal workers, which, of course, is a policy that this White House really championed.
Yeah, so we have not heard anything as of yet from the president himself. We are hearing rumblings from the White House that he is on board with this. Senator Thune said that the compromise had been floated with President Trump last night, and that he expects Trump to sign it if and when it eventually makes it to his desk.
What's it like in the leadership offices right now, for Democrats, that is? Because these 8 senators broke ranks, right? Chuck Schumer was still a no, and Hakeem Jeffries just made it pretty clear that he's going to stay a no. They don't like what's going on here, but they've not managed to keep everybody from voting a certain way. There you have on your screen on Bloomberg TV the 8, including Dick Durbin, by the way, in the leadership, who decided to just say, let's get this done. What does this mean for Chuck Schumer now to lose 8 votes like this? A lot of folks are calling for him to step down. We hear this type of thing when voting doesn't go a certain way. But how confused is this in the leadership office?
So I think that it's telling, Tyler said it at the top of the hour, that none of these 8 are up for re-election next November. That is key here. And to me, indicates that there was some game of chess being played as to who was going to step up and kind of hold their nose and vote for this. Senator Durbin, as you mentioned, is a member of leadership. He is not one you would typically see voting with Republicans on an issue. He is, however, an appropriator, and most importantly, he is retiring. So that makes him a safe vote. I think that that was all built into the calculus here. Of course, Schumer got blasted just months ago when he acquiesced to Republicans and kept the government open back in March amid concerns that Trump was too powerful and too popular at that moment. This, though, has been going on for some 41 days, and the calculus is changing, particularly as people go without their food benefits.
So that's the Senate. What are you watching for when this gets over to the House, not just on the Democratic side, but also I'm wondering about House conservatives that weren't able to negotiate some of these spending levels and the bills that are tied to this?
So things like the RIFs, the fired federal workers that you mentioned, some of the spending aspects of this could really cause some consternation, particularly with members of the House Freedom Caucus. We're seeing some tepid support, but that's far from certain at this point. The House majority, the Republican majority, is so narrow that they can only really afford to lose 2 or 3 votes and still get this through if Democrats remain united in opposition. What I'll be curious to see is if they lose some Republican votes, if they pick up moderate Democrats. Now, Democrats should be having an additional vote when this finally comes up, because the representative-elect Grijalva from Arizona, who has long been awaiting her swearing in, will likely be sworn in prior to this vote.